Hi, my name is Lee, and I talk about many different things. Part of my personal and professional background is project planning, an industry that I've been involved with in various ways since 2006. As with my most recent video on this channel, today I am talking about Deltek Acumen. Last time we talked about a learning path for the entire suite, 9 areas to become proficient in as your journey with the software takes shape. Today, I want to be much more specific, and I'm talking about things to know and how to do some basic things on your very first day in the software. For our purposes today, I will assume that you have the software installed, but you're just not quite sure what to do with it yet. I'll be using some sample files that ship with the software, so you have those same files and will be able to mimic the exact steps that I follow in the software. Let's get started. And before we start analyzing some sample projects, let's first look at some key options to consider before you open your first schedule. Don't worry about the decisions that you make now, however, as you can change these settings anytime later on once you figure out, for your unique circumstances, how to make Acumen work best for you. That's what it's all about. To get to the options, click the blue Acumen logo in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, and then the button marked Deltek Acumen Options. There are a lot of different pages and checkboxes in the options screen. We are only going to look at a few right now. These are largely set and forget. So if it seems overwhelming at first, don't worry. You may find that you almost never go to the options screen. Everything is pretty well set up for most users right out of the box. I do make a couple of tweaks, however. On Platforms General, I like to always import my user-defined fields for my projects, so I click Automatically Map User-Defined Fields to Projects. And down at the bottom, you can choose to stage your projects and then import them all at once, or have Acumen fully load each project when you select it. Basically, if you plan to analyze just one project at a time, which is a great way to get started with the tool, you can click this box. If you're analyzing a few or more large projects at a time, the Acumen workflow is more efficient to leave this box unchecked. Once you start using the software often, you will develop a preference one way or another. For today, I will check the box. Consider which platform or platforms you will be using to import schedules from. If you're using Deltek OpenPlan, for example, go to that page and input any critical details regarding your server setup if you plan to connect directly to your OpenPlan database. There are comparable options for configuring Microsoft and Primavera imports on those pages also. Note, if there are tools that you don't use or don't plan to use in Acumen, you can uncheck those boxes on their respective screens to simplify your toolbar in Acumen. For example, if you only use Deltek OpenPlan, you can remove some of these other buttons above for a simple user experience. If you're using Acumen Risk, you can set the standard and secondary confidence level, or p-value, that will be used in the risk charts by default over here on the risk options screen. Setting these defaults come in very handy once you're producing risk exposure histograms and risk driver tornado charts. You will save steps and clicks by presetting the confidence levels that you lean on most often. Now let's open a schedule. I'll browse to the sample files and select one. One file at first, but we will open a snapshot in a few moments for comparisons also. With the file open, you'll notice that the S1 Projects screen may look a lot like your planning tool. Acumen knows everything about the schedule that you've opened, drawing you a Gantt chart, organizing it by your work breakdown structure or other fields that you wish, and down below you can look at schedule relationships, status, resources, and more. The best thing to do when you open a schedule on your first day in Acumen is to go to the S2 Diagnostics tab. This is where you will learn about your schedule and potential areas of improvement. I'll navigate there, and then we will click the Fuse button on the toolbar, and already on your first day with Acumen, you're seeing where Acumen thinks some of your schedule characteristics are green, yellow, or red. There are hundreds of metrics in the software, but for day one, let's keep it very simple. When you see something interesting, maybe something like our missing logic items here, click it. Down in the lower right quadrant, you will see the items that trip the metric threshold. In this case, there are items that are missing a predecessor, successor, or both. It's very easy to see where the problems in the schedule might be, and this will get you on the path to improving the quality of the plan. Looking across the toolbar on the top of the screen, there are options for charts and graphs, heat maps, scorecard views, and other ways to visualize and compare data. Don't try to do everything at once. When you first get started, the best thing you can do is the basics. Open your schedule. Use the initial 9 quality checks to start finding issues. Click as I did with missing logic and see if there are some improvements that you can make. Looking at the tabs across the bottom of the screen, there are specific categories of metrics. Let's see. We have some missing logic, so let's click the Logic tab and get some more details. Now we're looking at a more specific set of logic metrics. These metrics distinguish missing predecessors from missing successors. We can easily see which logic types are used the most in the schedule, and some more metrics about logic across the view. Acumen is very smart about the red, yellow, green ratings, and if you're not sure what a particular metric is telling you, simply hover your mouse over the metric name to learn more. No schedule is perfect. Each one is its own unique and dynamic view of real-world work. It's impossible to define that 100% accurately in a scheduling tool, but the objective is to come as close as possible, building the quality into the plan that your project deserves. While we are here, let's run 2 reports, the Executive Briefing Report and then the Analysis Report. The Executive Briefing is a written MS Word document that explains the highs and lows of the quality of your project in a narrative. It's very helpful to distribute to people who may not think about project plans as much as you do. I like to read this document myself and then add my own commentary, and even remove sections that I don't feel are actionable by the team right now. Extra information is okay, but when it's time to take action, that extra information may be a distraction at the present time. Next is the Analyst Report. This is a more technical report, so this one is in Excel. This report gives you the same level of detail as the Diagnostics screen, but it's in Excel and you can send it directly to the people who are responsible to help fix any issues in the plan. They won't need Acumen to learn the information, just Excel and you, the person who is helping to assure that people get the information that they need to help you improve the quality of the plan. Now that we've learned some things about the quality and construct of the schedule, let's talk about schedule comparisons. Let's first load what Acumen calls a snapshot. This is any update or updates to your schedule. Today, your first day, we'll just load one snapshot. So we'll have the original file open and one single update. Then on the forensics screen, we can see all of the changes from the first file to the second. Duration changes, calendar changes, revisions to activity names and relationships, it's all here. Later on, you'll be adding more fields to compare and view, but for now, on your first day, I want you to be comfortable opening that second file and comparing it to the first, as we've done here. All of this can go to Excel also, for those who need the information but may not necessarily be an Acumen user. Congratulations on making a smart choice by using the best project quality and risk assessment software in the business. And if you don't presently have Acumen, I highly recommend checking it out. Someone who I know quite well uses Acumen also. At ClearPlan Consulting, he has created more Acumen videos, and I will link them in the description of this video. The first one that I link can be thought of as your second day with the software. And for those of you wanting to learn more about Acumen Risk, There is a link down there for you as well. As always, please feel free to ask questions down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will talk with all of you again soon.